Hello everyone, welcome back to another problem tutorial from Chapter 5 tutorial series for Financial Management, BUS 223. In this video we're going to be looking at problem number 12, so let's read it. It says compute the present value of a $100 cash flow for the following combinations of discount rates and times. Okay, and then they're giving us a bunch of different scenarios. But the requirement here is to calculate the present value for each scenario. Okay, we have done a similar exercise previously, but that was to find the future value. So we're going to do the same, but this time keep in mind that we are using the present value formula, which is, if you remember, the future value formula is like this, multiplied by 1 plus r to the power of t. The present value formula is the same. However, we're going to change the order of the formula, because this time for future value, for finding the future value, we have the present value and we have the rate of return and we have the duration. For this exercise, we have the future value, we have the rate of return, and we have time. So we want to find the present value. So the present value it's not, just like I've said in the lecture, it's not a new formula. It's the same exact formula, but rearranged, right? So to find the present value, all you need to do is just rearrange the future value formula like so. It will become future value divided by 1 plus r to the power of t. Okay? So you need to memorize those two formulas, or just memorize the first one and you can derive your present value formula from the first formula, okay, from the future value formula. All right, now let's look at the scenarios one by one. A, we want to find the future value of $100, okay, at 8% discounted over 10 years. Okay, so we'll turn to our calculators. 100 divided by, and then I'll open a bracket, 1 plus 0.08, close the bracket, and raise the whole bracket to the power of 10. Okay, and that gives me $46 and 32 cents rounded. Okay, now as always, I always like to make sure that my students understand what they are doing. So what does this mean? It means that for a future cash flow of 100% discounted at a rate of 8% over 10-year period, the present value of that amount is 46 and 32. How is that helpful to us? It's helpful in decision making. So, for example, if a company, even though the numbers are relatively small, but let's say for the sake of argument, a company can invest in something that will generate the company $100 after 10 years. What is the maximum amount they should be willing to pay today if they typically get, or they have a cost of capital of 8%, right? So the maximum the company should be willing to pay is this amount, $46.32. Okay, that would be the $46.32 today is the equivalent of $100 in 10 years if they discounted using an 8% rate of return. Okay, all right. Now let's go to the next one. B, the future value is going to be, again, 100. We're using the same future value. Sorry, I was writing future value the whole time, my bad. We are calculating the present value. Present value. Okay. 1 plus 0.08 to the power of 20 this time. So I'll go back to my calculator and just change the 10 into 820, and that will give me $21.45. Okay, so $100 discounted at an 8% rate of return over a 20-year period is the equivalent of $21.45 today. Okay. Part C, present value will equal $100 over 1 plus 4% to the power of 10. 1 plus 0.04 to the power of 10. I'll go back to my calculator and just adjust the numbers based on the inputs. That will be $67.56 rounded. Okay. And finally, for part D, the present value will equal, again, we're using a rate of return of 4%, but this time for 20 years. So 100 over 1 plus 0.04 to the power of 20. So we have a longer duration, and that will be $45.64 rounded. Okay. These exercises are simple and straightforward, but they are very useful for you to understand the variances that occur based on minor changes in inputs. Okay, so notice how for part C, the discounted present value of the future cash flow of 100 is $67.56, because this is discounted over 10 years. But once we increase the duration, we increase the time span for the discounting, we get a smaller value for the present value. Okay, so the present value in the 20-year scenario with the same discount rate is lower. It's only $45.64. Okay, I hope that you found this video useful. This is how you solve problem number 12. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down in the comments. Until I see you in the next problem tutorial, keep on learning, and I wish you the best of luck. Take care.